Did you know that moments of apparent disorder can, paradoxically, be the most fertile ground for the soul's blossoming? Nature itself shows us cycles of chaos that precede the most beautiful creations. With that in mind, reflect. Could the turbulence you may be feeling right now be the silent herald of your most authentic and meaningful existence? A call from the universe to awaken. It's natural to feel adrift when the foundations of the familiar seem to shake. Uncertainties and challenges arise, testing our resilience. However, that feeling of being lost might actually be the first step toward finding a path with more purpose, a path aligned with your deepest, truest essence. The cosmos communicates in subtle ways, through whispers and meaningful coincidences, before major changes visibly manifest. Many go through life without decoding these messages, mistaking them for mere chance or misfortune. Your presence here in this moment shows a different kind of attunement, an openness to listen. Guiding you to understand 7 powerful indicators that your life is approaching a transformative turning point is the purpose of this encounter. By recognizing these signs in your journey, you prepare yourself to navigate the new reality that is already beginning to take shape on the horizon, with awareness and intention. First sign: when fundamental questions about your existence begin to echo in your mind, don't see them as mere fleeting thoughts. They are seeds of expanded consciousness sprouting in the fertile soil of your soul. Questioning your oldest truths, your values, and the very direction of your life signals a deep inner recalibration, a seismic shift beneath the surface of your being. This process can bring a sense of instability, as if the once solid ground were dissolving. Embrace this vulnerability, for it is sacred. It is your spirit signaling that the old mental structures once comforting no longer contain the vastness of your potential. It is a courageous invitation to deconstruct the familiar and make space for the new. This introspection is not a detour, but the beginning of an authentic journey toward your higher self. By re-examining your choices, relationships, and direction, you begin a purification. The masks and illusions that no longer serve you start to fall away, revealing a purer, truer essence, ready to be rebuilt with wisdom. Allow the discomfort of this phase to guide you. It does not point to error, but to genuine growth. As you embrace uncertainty and continue to explore these inner questions, you will notice the external world beginning to mirror your transformation. Your reality changes because you have changed, tuning into a higher frequency. Second sign: realizing that the sparkle of the past is fading does not mean forgetting. It means transcendence, activities, people, or places that once defined. Your identity may start to feel distant, like landscapes seen from a moving train. This gradual sense of detachment is a whisper from your soul, indicating that you are expanding beyond your former boundaries. It's as if your inner self were gently loosening the ties that bound you to previous versions of yourself. Enthusiasm for old habits wanes, and former conversations now sound hollow. This change is not a failure of loyalty but a testament to your evolution. The energy that once moved you now seeks new sources, ones more aligned with your current frequency. Accepting this disconnection can be challenging, evoking a gentle nostalgia or even a tinge of sadness for what is left behind. However, the space that opens up is not empty. It is pure potential. It is the universe preparing the ground for your true essence to bloom, free from the expectations and roles that have already served their purpose in your journey. Trust this process of release. It is your inner compass pointing toward a more authentic future. By letting go of the anchors of the past, even those that once brought comfort, you allow yourself to navigate toward a horizon of self-discovery and genuine fulfillment, discovering the strength that resides in your capacity to reinvent yourself. Third sign: have you noticed how the ambitions that once guided your steps now seem to lose their magnetism? What society defines as success, status, possessions, external recognition may start to sound like a distant echo, while a deeper melody calls for your attention within. It is the awakening to the essential. This inner reassessment is not a sign of failure or disinterest, but of emerging wisdom. You begin to realize that true wealth does not lie in accumulation, but in the quality of your experiences, the depth of your connections, and the peace that comes from living in alignment with your most authentic values. The soul's filter becomes more refined. In this reorientation, a sense of dislocation may arise, perhaps even a temporary isolation from those still resonating at the old frequency. Embrace this solitude as a sacred space to hear your own voice, to recalibrate the compass of your heart away from the external noise. It is a necessary step to find your soul tribe. By questioning what truly matters, you are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself on a deeper level. This quest for genuine meaning, beyond superficialities, is the driving force that propels you into a life chapter filled with more purpose, integrity, and real contentment, nourishing the spirit with each conscious choice. Fourth sign. That inner voice, once a barely audible whisper beneath the noise of everyday logic, begins to gain clarity and strength. It is your intuition blossoming, a soulful sense that perceives unspoken truths and hidden paths. Feeling this connection deepen is like learning to read the silent language of the universe, an intimate dialogue between you and the flow of life. Trusting this inner guide may initially feel like a leap of faith, especially when the rational mind demands concrete proof. However, as you begin to give space to these insights or gut feelings, you discover a more fluid way of navigating life. Decisions that once felt complex become simpler as they emerge from a place of authentic alignment, like following the course of an underground river. This fine-tuned harmony with your innate wisdom allows you to notice patterns and synchronicities that once went unnoticed. Life begins to present less resistance, not because challenges vanish, but because your approach to them transforms. You feel a serene sense of certainty, a conviction that you are exactly where you need to be, even without fully understanding why. Cultivating this heart-centered listening is a profoundly empowering act. Intuition becomes your most reliable compass, offering clarity amidst the fog of uncertainty and reaffirming your capacity to co-create a more harmonious and truthful reality. It is the awakening of the inner master that resides within you. Fifth sign. An insatiable hunger for knowledge and expansion begins to pulse within you, not as an obligation, but as an irresistible calling of the soul. It is your being recognizing that stagnation is not your natural state. Life is movement, continuous learning. This thirst to go beyond the known drives you to seek new perspectives and dive into knowledge that nourishes your spirit. This quest transcends mere intellectual accumulation. You feel a pull to explore your inner landscapes, to awaken dormant talents, and to confront the shadows that limit your full expression. It is an invitation to become the alchemist of your own life, transforming experiences, even painful ones, into steps toward a more elevated and integrated consciousness. Personal growth becomes less of a hobby and more of an essential compass, guiding your choices and priorities. You're drawn to practices that promote emotional healing, to conversations that challenge your beliefs, and to experiences that push you out of your comfort zone. Every step on this journey affirms your commitment to your own evolution. Embracing this desire to flourish is recognizing your divine nature in constant unfolding. By actively dedicating yourself to your development, you not only enrich your own existence, but also elevate the vibration around you, becoming a silent beacon of inspiration to others who are also seeking to awaken their limitless potential. Sixth sign. A visceral impulse to distance yourself from dynamics that drain your vital energy begins to assert itself strongly. Connections and environments you once tolerated, perhaps out of habit or fear of loneliness, now reveal themselves as unsustainable. It is your spiritual self-preservation instinct sounding the alarm, calling for relationships that nourish rather than suffocate. Recognizing toxicity in old ties or exhausting situations is an act of clarity and courage. It's not about judging others, but about honoring your own needs for peace and growth. Loyalty to yourself must come before any external commitment that compromises your well-being and evolutionary path. The process of setting boundaries, or even breaking away from what no longer resonates, can be painful, like pruning dry branches from a beloved tree. However, this pain is temporary and makes way for renewed vitality. It is an act of self-love that declares your intention to cultivate an inner garden where only authentic blooms can thrive. By consciously choosing to surround yourself with energies that uplift and inspire, you redefine your vibrational field. This choice naturally attracts new connections rooted in mutual respect, genuine support, and shared growth, building a relational sanctuary where your soul can truly blossom in safety and joy. Seventh sign. A deep sense of detachment permeates your being, extending beyond specific people or habits, reaching old beliefs and self-images. What once felt essential to your identity now appears as clothing that no longer fits. It is your consciousness freeing itself from the ties of ego, recognizing that your true nature is fluid and limitless. This broader disconnection is not a loss, but a clearing in the dense forest of your psyche. It allows the light of your essence to shine without the filters of past expectations or self-imposed narratives. You begin to realize that your identity transcends the limited definitions you once accepted as your own. Navigating this phase requires surrendering to the flow, trusting that letting go of what no longer serves is an act of cosmic alignment. It is like a river naturally abandoning an old bed to follow a more direct course to the ocean. Resisting this current only prolongs the discomfort. Acceptance brings peace and clarity. By allowing the superfluous to dissolve, you create sacred space for the essential to emerge. This newfound lightness is the fertile ground where your most authentic version can take root and grow, nourished by the wisdom that arises when you dare to release control and simply be. Conclusion: recognizing these signs in your own life is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is a validation of the subtle language with which the universe conspires in your favor. Each step of this journey, from the initial questioning to the final letting go, weaves the tapestry of a profound awakening. Your soul longs for this expansion, for aligning your earthly existence with your highest purpose. By consciously embracing this transformation, you transcend the role of a passive passenger of circumstances and take the helm of your evolution. Confusion gives way to clarity, fear transmutes into trust, and the sense of fragmentation dissolves into wholeness of being. You begin to operate from a center of peace and inner power. The reality that unfolds is not just different, it resonates with the truth that has always lived within you. It is a state of being where authenticity is no longer an effort, but the natural expression of your essence. Life flows with more grace. Connections deepen, and every experience becomes an opportunity for learning and celebration. Stay attuned and open to this cosmic dance of change. The journey of self-discovery is infinite, a constant invitation to explore new layers of your potential. The extraordinary is not in some distant future, but in your capacity to live the present with awareness, courage, and a heart open to the beauty of becoming.